Hello and welcome. Now in this video we are gonna finish our third step, which is creating our adapter for our recycler view. So right click here on your first folder inside the Java folder, then choose new Kotlin file or class. I'm gonna call it adapter. Okay, hit OK and let's start working on it. So I'm gonna create a class and here I'm gonna call it adapter. Okay, and here we are gonna pass two things. The first one will be your data. Okay, I'm just gonna specify the type to be an array list. Okay, and this array list should hold the type of our custom class. Okay, and the second variable will be for our context. Okay, so I'm gonna type context of type context. Okay, here we have it. Okay, and what we need to do, we need to extend this from the recycler view. Okay, we should see the recycler view dot adapter. Okay, and this will ask us for a view holder, which is a normal class that we are going to create in a second. Okay, here. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a view holder which is a normal class. So I'm just going to type class. Okay, you can name it any name that you prefer. In my case I'm gonna call it view holder. Okay, and this view holder should hold an item view, okay, or any variable that any name. It's just a variable name. You can name it any name, but I'm just gonna be more specific and call it item view. Should be on type of view. Okay, and this should extend the recycler view dot the view holder. Okay, and we are gonna pass it the item view here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and if you have this error, it's not an error, but just go on the view and just hit Alt and Enter to import this view. Okay, and what we can do now, we can add our content inside of it. Okay, inside our view holder. Now what I mean by our content is just we are going to create two variables. The first one will be for the text and the second one will be for the image, and we are going to initialize them. Okay, so let's create variable. I'm just going to call it name of type text view, because that's what we have it in our design. Okay, and what we can do, we can add our image view. Now here I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call it image and should be type of image view. Okay, and now what we can do, we can initialize them here. Okay, so I'm gonna type name. It should equal to the item view dot find view by id method. Okay, r dot id dot item name. Okay, and what we can do, we can do the same thing for our image. It's equal to the item view dot find the view by id method r dot id dot item image. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have successfully created our view holder. Now going back here, we need to pass it here. So I'm just gonna type adapter, which is the file name dot view holder. Okay, and everything is set up. Now here what we need to do, we need to implement some methods, but before that let's go ahead and create our constructor. So once we can call this adapter using the constructor. So to create a constructor, all we need to do, we need to create a variable. I'm just gonna call it data. Okay, and should be of type list, and this list should be of type custom class. Okay, and here we need to initialize it, typing this. Okay, dot data, it's equal to the data variable. Okay, and now we are ready to override the methods that we need. Okay, so the first method that will help us to prepare the item design that we have designed in the first video, and to do this we are gonna override the only create a view holder method. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to create a variable called layout. Okay, and this should equal to the layout inflator. Okay, dot from, and we need to pass the context as a variable here. Then we need to do inflate r dot layout dot item. Okay, And the second thing that we need to specify is the parent, and last thing we need to specify false because we do not want to attach it to any root. Now what we need to do, we need to return the view holder, and we need to give it the layout because it's asking us for a view. Now our time or our job is finished with the onCreate view holder. Now let's go ahead and override the onBindViewHolder method that will help us to set the data on the image view and also the text view. And to do this, we are going to use the holder variable and the position variable here. Okay, so we are going to type holder dot name, which is our text view dot text. It's equal to the data, and we are going to use the position here dot name. Okay, and we are going to do the same thing with our image view. I'm going to type holder dot image dot set image resource to the data, and we are going to type the position here dot image. Okay, and everything is done with our onBindViewHolder method that will help us to set the data on the view that we have. Now our last method will be the getItemCount method. Okay, that will ask us for how many items that we want to return or we want to show, and I will type return the data dot size. That means we are going to return as many items as we have inside our array list. Okay, so as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the adapter is very easy. Okay, it's contain all this stuff. We have did this successfully. Now we have finished our 4 step, okay, which is creating our I think that's with the third step, which is creating the adapter. Okay, and our next step will be to filling all this stuff inside our main activity. So thank you guys so much for watching. We are going to continue on in the next video.